I wanted to share the seminar schedule because we weren't able to do that last week. So the seminar, anything with an asterisk is still in the works, but as you see, we tried to offer, not overload you with seminars every single week, though we did a pretty good job. But try to cover topics that are important to you, whether you're a beginning runner or walker, whether you're experienced, somewhere in between. So last week we kicked off the fundamentals panel. Tonight, Jesse's going to talk about what you should be wearing, especially this time of year. And then we have a break next week. And all these are continue to be advertised on the Indy Runners webpage, through Facebook, emails, your pacers. A lot of ways we're trying to get the information out. But the next seminar will be on Tuesday, February 2nd, so 2 weeks from tonight, and it'll be Dr. Helms, one of the friends of the program and one of our sponsors. He'll talk about injury prevention. And then the week after that, I'm not going to go through each of these, but highlight a few. Angie Grogan is going to talk about runners and walkers and mental health. So I don't think it's a topic we've covered before, but especially right now with all that's going on with COVID and the like, but just talking about the importance of mental health. And then, a few others you'll see scattered there. The motherhood and running panels coming together. So that one's almost completely confirmed. So we've tried to bring back people that you might be familiar with if you've done the program before, like the Bob Kennedys and Matt Ebersols and Jesse Davises, but then add some new people like the Lindsay Langfords, Angie Grogans, and Noah Droddy, who, as I covered last week, if you're not familiar with who Noah is, he's the fastest marathoner from the state of Indiana. So he's agreed to come on board and share his story. Actually grew up in Irvington, so looks forward to that. And as we go through this evening, if you have any questions at all about the seminar this evening, or questions for Jesse, or questions on the program itself, the seminar program, feel free to reach out. And I will stop the share. And I'm going to turn this over to Jesse here. Make him host. Whoops, not that one. Come back. This is a test of there we go. And as I introduced Jesse, I gave you hosting rights. Just want to say a few things for those of you who don't know him. He joined the joined the Runners Forum in 2014 as the store manager in Broad Ripple. In fact, I can attest that he works there. I saw him there today when I stopped by. He volunteers while serving on the board for Indy Runners and Back on My Feet. Jesse and I are both back on my feet. I know is important to both of us. I've been a long time volunteer there, as is Troy and some others here in the group. Jesse's running 2 Olympic marathons trials, 2 Ultra World Championships. I know he loves trail running as well, and we look forward to him talking about apparel tonight. So Jesse, it's all yours.
Hi, hello. Can everybody see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's good. So tonight I'm going to be talking about shoes and apparel and what you need to get through the winter or just running in general. At any time, the important gear, having the right gear is a key to success for sure. There's somebody, I don't know who it is. Can everybody just please mute?
I can also mute them.
Okay, go ahead. All right, I think we got it. All right, so we're ready to go. My tech person's working on this. This is my girlfriend Naomi, by the way.
There we go. Got it now. Okay, so everybody should be muted now, and hopefully you should see yourself. I guess you don't need to see yourself. Okay, go for it.
Okay, all right. So, are we ready?
Yeah, just use the arrows.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
All right, here we go. So our shoe and apparel talk. Thanks for showing up and everything. Like I said, having the right gear makes a huge difference, and it can be the key to all your training success. You don't want to sabotage all the hard work you do by not having the right stuff. So, just to start off, when you're running about 1,500 to 2,000 steps is what you're going to take per mile. And this is a half marathon training program. So that's 13.1 miles. So that's roughly 20 to 26,000 steps. So that's a lot of steps. And when you're running, you're coming down with 3 to 4 times your body weight. And that multiplied over that many steps really adds up. And walking, the same thing, you're still coming down with a lot of body weight, and having the right gear will make a huge difference. So when we're fitting people at the Runners Forum, we're looking at 4 different things. We're looking at your mechanics. That's what's happening with your ankles, whether or not they're going inward, outward, whether you're a neutral runner. So that's just happening while you're running or walking. Then we're going to look at your arch and see how high or low it is. And then we're going to try to get the best fit for your arch. The shape of your foot, whether or not you have a wider or a more narrow foot, we're going to take a look at that and then try to match that up. And then the size, you want to make sure you get the correct size. And I think I have a few slides kind of going over that. So like I said, with the mechanics, we do what's called a gait analysis, where we watch you actually run barefoot and then see what's going on. I would say about 40% of people are a neutral runner. And if you see that line right down the middle, that just means that your ankle stays right in line with your Achilles and your calf all the way through. And then there's shoes made for those types of runners, so we don't overcorrect them and then push them one way or the other. And then 40 to 50% of the people we see are overpronators, and you can see the ankles turning in on this picture. There's shoes that will correct that, get you more neutral. And why you don't want to do that, like I said, when you're running, you're coming down with a lot of force. And then as you increase distance, that's force over time. And if you're constantly rotating inward, that's putting a lot of stress on the inside of your leg. And that can do some damage long-term. A lot of common injuries from excessive overpronation would be like shin splints and knee issues and a lot of other things. So we try to help get you in the correct shoe so you don't have those problems. And then supination, you don't see that as much, but that's where you're on the outside of your foot, and we're going to try to find the right fit to kind of get you more towards the middle. So ideally you want to be just kind of, if you looked at the bottom of your shoe, your wear power would be right down the middle. So that's what we're trying to achieve when we're watching you run and fitting you for shoes here. As opposed to just going to like a Dick's and picking something off the wall. You could totally just get something random that's not right for you. We're going to take the time and make sure you get the right shoe, because it really makes a huge difference. And when we're looking at arch, there's a few different kinds, high arch, normal arch, flat. It's pretty obvious, but we actually have a heat pad that we'll put you on, and we'll take a look at your arch so we can get a good feel for what you have and how to match that up so you get the proper fit there as well. Shape of foot, like I said, we're looking at the width here. But not just how wide your foot is, but how deep it is, because some people will have issues where the shoe is just too tight on the top of their foot, and that can cause like foot numbness and it can cause some real pain, at least on the top of your foot. So we want to try to avoid that. And we have tips that we can give you too for lacing if that's a real chronic issue for you. And then we have wide widths for people that need those as well. And then, the shape of your toes. Some people have hammer toes and different ailments that we'll know how to kind of find the right shoe to fit those types of feet. It's very common. Let's see. So as far as sizing goes, you want to make sure that you get the correct size and fit shoe, because you can get things like black toenails and rubbing and blisters from that, because your feet are going to swell when you run. So as a general rule of thumb, you're going to want like a half thumbnail from the end, half thumbnail to a full thumbnail, just so you have that room. And you don't want something that's too snug on your foot, or because you can get rubbing or blisters. Or sometimes people, if they wear tight shoes for too long, can develop a neuropathy, which is a nerve issue in your foot where you just feel like toe cramping and a lot of pain in the ball of your foot. So getting the proper fit as far as size is really important if you don't want to end up like feet like this slide here. I'm sure a few of you might have had black toes at some point. Socks are also really important too. And I'll get into this more later, but having good pair of socks will help prevent blisters as well. You don't want cotton because that allows that moisture to stay on your foot. So you're more likely to get that rubbing. So having a nice, good pair of walking or running socks really makes a big difference as well. A walking versus a running shoe, there's really not a lot of difference there. Running shoes typically is what we will give walkers as well. They're just going to breathe a lot better and overall and be a lot more flexible than a walking shoe. Basically, like what a walking shoe is, they take a running shoe and they put a leather upper on it, which is not that breathable and not that flexible. So really, if you're walking, I think, in my opinion, a running shoe is best just for that breathability and flexibility. And it's going to have the most cushion and support of any shoe you can really get. Color versus comfort. We have lots of nice colors. I know people like to have an attractive looking shoe, but also we can give you those options, and we're going to give you several options to choose from. And, but I wouldn't sacrifice comfort for a color. Maybe bringing down your expectations there a little bit and get the shoe that feels best, because really at the end of the day, it's about completing your race, your half marathon that you're training for, and not about how good you look doing it. But I mean, we have lots of really nice looking shoes, so I wouldn't worry about that. But I mean, I just would put comfort at the foremost of your concerns. Durability, what you can expect from a shoe is about 300 to 500 miles is typically what you'll get. So for most runners, that's about 4 to 6 months. For most walkers, that's about 6 to 8 months. And listen to your body. Like I said before, if you're not in the right shoe, or your shoes are getting wore out, then you potentially could start feeling it in your shins, your knees, your back, your hips, because you don't have that cushion or support that you had before when the shoes wore out. So it's really important to kind of replace your shoes when it's time to avoid those kinds of things. So this is kind of a chart where you can kind of expect, based on how much you use your shoes, where you could kind of fall in line and expect to replace them. So. Most shoes are around 120. That's about the average for a good pair of shoes. It's the same whether you buy it from us versus some other place. We don't jack up the price because we do the service. We sell it at the standard retail price. So, but you get the professional service where we make sure you get the right one. And when you're getting like the cheaper shoe, you maybe save some money, but you're sacrificing cushion and support because they're just not made with the same materials. So you're not going to get the same things. And ultimately, like I said, when you're constantly putting down all that force for all those steps, and you want that cushion and support, I mean, it's going to make a huge difference. And now switching gears into apparel, like I mentioned before, you don't want to run or walk in anything cotton, because cotton, all the moisture stays on your body. And when it's cold outside, like it is now, you sweat and it's on your body, it's going to freeze and make you more cold. So you want something that's going to pull that moisture away. It's going to be breathable. It's going to be lightweight, but also warm. And so that goes with socks, jackets, everything. I'm going to go through some different layers and stuff. So with proper layering for this time of year, for the winter, there's 3 different layers you want to think about. Your base layer is the one that's going to sit close to your skin. It's going to draw the moisture away. That's what's actually going to keep you dry. And so all of your sweat's not freezing on your body, and it's going to be nice and lightweight, a little tighter fitting. And then you got your mid or thermal layer. Those are really nice. And most of the winter around here, honestly, most of the time I'll be wearing a base and a mid thermal layer, and I'll be fine because you can unzip. Most of those are quarter zips, so you can unzip if you get hot. and then zip back up if you start cooling off again. So it's very versatile. But the mid layers are going to direct the heat back into your body and not let it escape. So you stay warm, and then it stops the cold air from passing through. And then when you get into the shells, your shells are going to be, that's when it's raining or really windy. That's when you're going to throw that stuff on, or if it's super cold out and you just need that extra layer. So your shell is basically it's going to create a wind barrier, and it's going to protect against rain and snow.
And we will, because we must. That means
I'm hearing somebody's talking.
Yeah, if everybody could use mute, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
About where they send their child to be educated. After all, they pay for it.
I'm hearing Governor Holcomb.
You know what, Jesse? I don't think I can, since I'm not the host, I don't think I can mute all, but you can mute all, I think, is a.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jim.
Oh, sorry, Jim. Sorry. I'm just we're going to mute all here in a second.
Mute up.
There it is.
There it is. Got it. Back to the presentation.
Yeah, that got everybody.
Okay, cool. We're good again. So your high-tech fabrics, there's things like, there's a company we call, that's called Mizuno. You might have heard of them. They have like a breath thermal, which is kind of nice. It kind of actually, the fabric, as you sweat into it, it actually heats up. It's pretty cool. It keeps you a little extra warm. And then you got your jackets. Like I said, those create barriers against the wind. Wind brief, especially for guys, that goes underneath your tights, just to protect those sensitive areas below the waist. In the winter, I pretty much never go out with the wind brief if it's in 30s or any colder than that. I think that's a very important layer for guys, especially when it's cold. And then you got your sports bras. I'm going to talk about those a little bit more here in a second. And then you got compression wear, which I have a slide on that too. Okay, here we go. So like I said, the breath thermal, like I said, it as you perspire into it, the fabric actually heats up, which is kind of cool, and warms your body. We have some of their material. There's lots of other nice fabrics out there. That's just kind of an interesting one that we pop in because it's pretty unique that they actually have a patent on that. Your soft shell jackets, like I said, highly wind resistant and water resistant, breathable, provides warmth, lightweight and soft. Your wind briefs, strategically placed protection for you guys, excellent at moisture transfer, and then minimizes the layers while still providing warmth. Again, I always have these on when I'm running in the winter. And then sports bras, interesting fact, 8 out of 10 women are wearing the wrong size sports bra, which is a problem because a sports bra protects you long-term from any kind of damage you could do from improper support in that area. So this is actually a slide that needs to be updated. It says Moving Comfort. Those are actually Brooks bras that we carry. Brooks owns Moving Comfort. They just took the name off of that, but those are really excellent bras that we sell that come in different levels of support. So you can kind of customize that a little bit depending on your needs. But this is probably like for women, having a proper sports bra that gives you the right amount of support and fit is probably just as important having a good pair of shoes, because like I said, over time, as you're going, you want to have that support so you don't do any like long-term damage for real. This is another brand that we carry. It's really heavy support for women that need that. I won't go into all the features, but if this will be recorded, you can go back and see this. And we also have some really high-level sports bras. The Enel snaps in the front, so if you needed that, that's handy. And then the compression socks, if anybody's interested, this just kind of helps improve blood flow in your legs, and it reduces muscle damage for faster recovery. I use these a lot for travel. I wear them at night sometimes to recover, or if I'm having any kind of calf pain, if you have chronic calf tightness or anything like that, these are great. Something to think about, throw on. They come in a sleeve or a sock. I think the sock's better for recovery, but if your calves get tight a lot when you run, then I think the sleeve works great. You can use that for while you're walking or running. This is a nice detergent that we carry. It's non-petroleum based. So you get the same amount of loads you get out of a Tide bottle, but it's just really great for all your nice gear to keep it moisture wicking properly and working how you want. I use this. I think it's great. And then this is something you might think about when it starts warming up, or if you have in general if you typically get any kind of rubbing or anything. This is something I always have on race day. Body Glide and Sport Shield is great. It'll keep any spots from rubbing, any underarms, between the legs, nipples, anything like that. This is great to throw on. Something to think about on race day for sure, especially if this is a distance that you've never gone. And it's something to think about, because you don't want to get to the end of the race and then get in the shower afterwards, which has happened to me. And then you just like scream from some spot that you've rubbed raw that you didn't even notice until then. That's definitely no fun. So pro tip. Safety, I know for the next month and a half or so, it's going to be getting dark early, and so you might be running at night. So you want to take the time to get some reflective gear, get lights, get something that blinks so that people can see you when you're running. And I mean, it's not really that expensive, and it really could make a huge difference, keep you safe. I mean, it could save your life, really. So if you're out running at night, you want to make sure that you're seen, and we have gear for that as well. So we have, that's a typo. We have, well, that needs to be updated. We have 6 locations. We recently closed down our downtown store, so that is not one, but we have locations all across town, Zionsville, Carmel, here in Broad Ripple. This is where I work. I'm the manager here at the Broad Ripple store, Avon, Greenwood, and they're all qualified staff that can help you out. And I didn't mention this earlier, but if you are in the market for some apparel, for the rest of this week, we're doing buy one, get one half off on all our winter gear, including hats and gloves. So this is a great time to get in and get layered up and save some money. So, and we do like a loyalty program and all the shoes and stuff. So once you're in that, you're going to get $15 off your shoes every time that you come in, which is really nice too. So we're here to help you out and help you stay warm, get the right shoes, and make sure you're ready to race and have the best day possible for your half marathons coming up. So that is my presentation.
Outstanding. Thank you, Jesse, very much. Questions? If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat. I do have one question, Jesse. I've wondered about this before, never asked. Are there different kinds of running socks for winter, say, versus summer?
Oh, that's a great question. All of them are good year round, but I actually prefer like a merino wool sock in the winter a lot of times, especially if I know that I'm going to be running like my shoes, my feet are going to get wet. I feel like merino just kind of dries faster than anything else. Like I'll wear that on the trails, or just in the winter, it's a little bit warmer, I think. But all the socks would do because they're going to keep your foot dry, which is key, so you don't get cold from that. But that would be my suggestion. We sell like a really nice merino running sock. So
excellent. No, that helps. We have another question here. What are your thoughts on spikes for running outdoors when it's slick outside?
Well, we actually have what they're called Yak Tracks, and I think that's great. If it's slick out, I think that's something that you just throw on your shoe and it works great. I don't know about actually spikes in your shoe, because unless you're like on ice the whole time, you know, if you run on concrete with an actual spike, it'd just be kind of, I think it wouldn't be fun.
And you said you
But
do
if
sell the Yak tracks there, you said?
actually, yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Yak track.
Okay.
So, yeah, those are great for just getting a good grip. And you want to have that traction on the ice because you don't want to be sliding back and forth. That's a real hazard. A lot of people can mess up their hamstrings like from that sliding on the slick surfaces. So you want to make sure you have that grip.
All right, thank you. The questions are coming in fast and furious now. When's the best time of day to come in and get fit for running shoes? So I maybe suspect maybe it's not good right after a long run, right? So what's your thoughts on that?
Anytime you want to come in, we'll spend the time with you. It's like it's really honestly random when people come in. Like we could be busy at 1 o'clock on a Monday and like dead at like noon on a Saturday. It's just, you just never know when people are going to come in. So, but we're open 11 at this store, and you can find the hours on all of our stores. We're open 11 to 7, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6 on Saturday, and 12 to 5 on Sunday. And we'll take like I said, we'll take the time. It usually takes about 15, 20 minutes for most people to get fit. But if you take a little longer, you know, we're here to work with you. So.
Well, and it's me, and if I'm the person coming in to buy them, is there time better? Not only for how busy you guys might be, but like if I've just gone on a long run, is that best because my feet are swollen? Should I wait? Should I?
Potentially, you could factor in that swelling, but we always make sure you have enough space anyway. But yeah, if you came in, like if you've been on your feet for a little while, your feet will be a little bit wider. You might get a little bit better feel of what it might feel like if you're on your feet for a while. Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. What are some indicators it's time to switch shoes? I bought mine a year ago, but haven't really been keeping track of the miles.
So if you could probably figure out, like if you did a rough estimate of how much you usually run per month and then multiply that by 12, you could probably figure out if you're in that 300 to 500. If not, if your shoe, if you look at the tread on the bottom and it's really flat and there's not much there, or if you take your shoe and you can flex it real like easily down the middle, that could be an indication it's dead. Or if you're starting to, like I said in the presentation, if your shins and knees, back, hips are starting to hurt, it might be time. And if you're unsure, you could just come in with your old shoes and try on a new pair, and you'll probably feel a huge difference if your shoes are wore out. I mean, like you'd be like, oh, I need new shoes. It'd be obvious.
There is nothing like the feel of a brand new pair of running shoes. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I will have to say, as someone, you know, when I started out, the only time I fortunately have come close to having any injuries is when my shoes have just wore down too much and I need a new pair.
Yeah.
So I know that's a big injury prevention, you know, tip too, at least from my perspective.
Actually, that's exactly anytime I've had injury problems, it has been when I let my shoes go too long. But I don't have that problem anymore working in a running store.
That's good. It looks like I got another one here. What's your take on the shelf life for gel shoes? ASICS uses this, and Flight Foam.
Oh yeah, the gel is what ASICS use in all their shoes. That's just their cushioning system. It doesn't wear down any faster or slower than anything else. So 300 to 500 miles, somewhere in there, is typical. And another thing people don't think about too, if you're wearing your shoes for other things other than running and walking, then you're wearing them. You're still wearing them out. So like a lot of times what I'll do is my shoes feel so good that I run in. Sometimes I'll wear them to work, but I'm also, when I'm wearing to work, I'm still wearing them out. So those are like kind of like hidden miles that you're putting on them. So that's something to think about too. If you can use them just for walking and running, they'll last longer. And if you wanted to get real crazy, if you rotate shoes, if you like have a couple pair that you rotate between, you can get a few more miles. I in my personal opinion, like, so if you bought a pair, maybe like a couple, 2 or 3 months down the line, buy another pair and then just kind of do that and rotate. While that pair is still good, they'll last a little longer. I'm not saying you have to do that, but that's like a tip that could work.
Excellent. I also know, and there's a question came through here, are there other things you sell, accessories such as water bottles, goos or gels? So I know
we have lots of different nutrition options, lots of different hydration, a lot of accessories for like carrying your phone or, there's lots of other items that we carry other than shoes and apparel. And if you're into swimming, we have like a whole swim wall.
And for those of you that maybe have not done a half marathon before and you're training for your first one, as the miles start to go up, some of this nutrition, and you're not thinking about it right now, right? And then water, because you're thinking it's freezing out. What are you talking about? That's going to become more important. And I know the Pacers, and we'll talk about that, so the program throughout, but that's where you want to keep consideration. And they can help you out, Jesse and his staff, on, well, what's a goo or a gel? I've heard about these. What does that mean? How often should I take them? What one's best for me? They can provide that expertise too. And
that's something you should try before race day, honestly. Yeah, try, because there's so many different kinds. You want to see what sits well with your stomach. So trying out different ones. It's recommended that you take a gel every 30 to 45 minutes of exercise, continued exercise. So anytime you're going over that amount of time, it's time to start thinking about nutrition. I think maybe every 30 to 45 minutes, that's when you want to be taking those. So.
Well, I think, Jesse, that is all the questions, and we're at the bottom of the hour, just past, and that's what I promised people we try to hold to. But I want to thank you. That was really thorough. I had come up with a list of questions myself, and you covered them all. So
awesome.
Outstanding. But if you guys have questions after this, feel free. I put my email address in the chat, or you can also reach out to anybody in the contacts you have in your training guide. And if not, we will see you again 2 weeks from tonight for the.
And all the packets are here too. So So if you have any questions when you come and pick up your packet, just ask me and we get you squared away. So.
And buy some socks, because I was just there today and I should have bought some merino wool socks. So I'll have to come back now, Jesse.
yeah, the socks are on sale right now. If you get 4, you get $8 off. And like I said, all the apparel, including hats and gloves, buy one, get one half off for the rest of the week. So it's a good time if you need the gear. So.
Hey, Jim and Jesse, there was one more question. If people can't get there by Friday to pick up their packets, is there a possibility you can hold some?
Oh, yeah. There's no rush. I'll have them here.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Good question. Well, thank you all. I wish you safety and warmth while you're out there running. We've been fortunate so far this winter. It's been pretty decent running weather. So I wish you all well, and we'll see each other soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks, Jesse.
You're welcome.